Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Holy Spirit. I am Marius Demenya, and I'm one of the grade 8 teachers here at Holy Spirit. Unfortunately, I can't be there today, so I thought I would demonstrate flipped learning by flipping this video. So, welcome to self-directed learning through the flipped classroom, and I will be in front of a computer as we speak, and if you have any questions, I can address any questions you have if you direct message me or mention in the feed here at my Twitter, Mr. Stemenya, and I will be answering questions live as you're watching this video. So let me begin by saying very quickly, self-directed learning. Well, it looks very different at Holy Spirit than it does at St. Mary Ward, where the entire school is self-directed. Here at Holy Spirit, basically just our math is self-directed, and I will go into more detail about how the class itself runs, but as far as self-directed learning is concerned, in my math class, it's basically the students are able to move at their own pace. It's not one lesson a day, homework, on to the next lesson the next day. It's not how it works, and I will go into more detail as we go through this presentation. So basically, I talk, you read, but for the most part, is they are moving at their own pace as far as math is concerned, and I'm available to give support when needed. Flipped classroom. Now, the traditional model of a flipped classroom is homework is a video. Next day, we come in, we do some examples, and we have the day to actually work through it. Okay, that is the traditional model. Short video lectures are viewed by students at home. In-class time is devoted to exercises. Yes and no in my classroom, but that is more the traditional way in which a flipped classroom is looked at right now, and that's the most common way of running a flipped classroom. We will go into detail a little bit later how it's done in my classroom, but it's more the in-class flip where the video can be watched during class time, and it all works. I'll explain more. I'll explain more as we go on. But before I do that, let me just explain why I'm doing this, why I decided to move to this type of model. And this was the biggest issue right here. Holy Spirit is the largest feeder school to Mary Ward, or at least I hope we are still. And I really wanted to get them involved in a self-directed learning environment. So once they got to grade 9, it wasn't completely foreign to them. And for the most part, I think it's working. Math has been identified provincial, board-wide, and school-wide as an urgent critical need. And at the time I started doing flipped learning, I didn't have a very large math block. As we know, the ministry has mandated more math time, but that wasn't the case a couple of years ago. I find it's beneficial to the ELL students because I have more time to work with any groups that are in need of more support. And last year, integration of technology and Google Apps for Education were current and continue to be learning school slip goals. Okay, now how does integrating self-directed learning into the flipped classroom work in my classroom? Well, first of all, I've created all the videos for the grade 8 math program. It's all on my YouTube channel. Lessons are taught at the beginning of the unit, so I will teach 4, 5, 6 lessons in a span of a couple of days, give or take a break of 1 or 2 days in between. I can gauge how the class is understanding, and I will go, and it's not a given script every unit. It works on a case-by-case, unit-by-unit basis. Unit packages, like Mary Ward, are given out, but the ones at Mary Ward are way, way more thorough and so well done. And I can only hope to have my unit packages as good as those one day. So over the course of the next several days, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, it's a constant communication with the students, how they're doing. Do we need more time? Due dates are very loose, so I don't have a specific date. We just see how they're doing, and I kind of work with it from there. Now, here's how it works in the classroom. Essentially, I will teach the unit in a couple of days, and then I will go and allow them in class to move at their own pace. Now, I teach the lesson, but I also put the lesson on video. And during the unit, they're able to watch videos. They're able to have support with me facilitating and being available and circulating throughout the room. So that's a wonderful resource for them to have, that whenever they're having an issue, they can have a conversation with me. So I find myself working with individuals, with small groups, ELL students that I can take some time with. I can have them grouped together. If there's a question that everyone seems to be asking me, I'll pull it in and I will have entire group discussions and just go over concepts just to make sure everybody has it. Because when I find I'm getting the same question all the time, then I'll address it in a whole class environment. But the students are usually really good about asking me questions, and it just become part of the norm where they're not shy anymore. They have a question, they know they have to come to me, and for the most part they do it. So for the most part, the math program is done in class. As far as homework is concerned, and the first couple of months parents are having an issue with it because they're not seeing any homework, well, that's the idea. The idea is for them to not have homework at home. Most of the math program is done during class time, in class, with support from me and from the videos. So I'm in two places at the same time, and they can come to me if they want to, and they can just review videos if they want. And I'm also teaching the lesson live at the beginning of the unit. So they're getting a lot of structure, and they're getting a lot of support because I'm constantly giving them instruction, even though it's not formalized as we would normally have it in a traditional classroom situation. So, and again, any questions, please refer to my Twitter, and I will answer questions as we're going along on this too. And I'm happy to connect with any teachers after this presentation going forward. Now, not only is the instruction changed, but the whole classroom setup has changed here. As you see here, this is a unit package right over here. QR code has my YouTube channel for the unit, and this is a student that's going to be going, after scanning this code, going to the playlist on my YouTube. Here's a student watching a video during class time, and there's a unit package right in front of him, and these are students collaborating. Group work is super important and encouraged in the math classroom that I've set up. So these are a group of students working on the math packages, collaborating with me, with each other, and they're basically owning their own learning, which is a wonderful thing as it starts to work out as in the first couple of weeks, couple of months in the school year. Again, you'll notice that in the classroom, I have movable desks. So, and it works because I move from the desk to their bins. So we're able to move around and have space, and they can reconfigure the room whatever way they want to encourage collaboration and just to change it up a bit. So instead of having rows, they can work together, they can sit where they want, there's no pre-designated seating. And again, most of the point of doing this is to encourage collaboration with me, collaboration with each other, collaboration at home, because sometimes they'll have questions, they'll want to work at home, and they can watch videos, and they can collaborate with parents and have the math learning together. A lot of times I encourage the parents to go back and watch the video because they'll ask me what's going on in the classroom. Well, it's completely transparent and it's on YouTube, so please watch it. And if there's any questions, they know what the instruction is in classroom, and so they'll know. And it's generally very well accepted by the parents. So I got a quick video here. Just a quick rundown about some of the changes and some of the things that we're doing in the classroom. Okay, so here you go.
These desks right here, if we want to get to a group and collaborate, we could just move these desks together.
So these are crates?
Well, since we're going to high school next year, we have to be independent, so we have crates to, move everywhere, bring our stuff, and then it'll be easier to access our stuff.
It's basically like another way for a locker.
Yeah.
In grade 8.
So basically, if we put them in crates and put them out of sight, they take what they need, but it's also portable and movable, just like the desks are. It limits distractions, and it causes them to be more independent and to make better use of their time, because they're not having to search through and rummage through everything, because you can see everything. I see everything, they see everything. It makes them be more neat, and for the most part, again, it's working, and they seem to like it. So as it stands right now, it seems to be working. As far as Google integration, BYOD, we have the laptops that are given by the board, but they can also use their phones, they can use their tablets. This is a test that they're writing that I actually put online as well, so students can access these from any device. So a phone, and that's the one thing, allow the phones in the classroom, eliminate the stigma. This is where their instruction can be, on the tablets, on laptops. Okay, I've also done tests where I'm circulating around the room and I put a test onto Google. So make a Google form, and I have add-ons that help me to mark a given test. But the point with this is this Google integration and bring your own device allows lessons to be more accessible from any device, from any place, in class, out of class, on the bus, at home. It doesn't matter. I'm always there now. So they need me, there I am. Okay? And this is very much in the way that students today are learning. All right? So it really touches on their sensibilities. And it's, again, for the most part, it's working. So as far as it working, well, let me give you some numbers. All right, so from last year, 2015-2016 school year, I had 41 math students. So we had 2 grade 8 classes happening, and in both grade 8 classes, I had 41 math students. So Rotary, 2 classes a day. 30 of the 41 students were achieving a level 3 or higher. That's pretty much, if you do the math, and I am sometimes a math teacher, that's 73% of the students are receiving a level 3 or higher. I would have to say that's pretty successful. Now, that is 1 year. That is the first year that I went full-blown self-directed learning through the flipped classroom, and I had this kind of results. Well, then this year, I have just 1 class. Okay, we have 24 math students, and as of term 1, at the end of term 1 that just finished, just reported on it, 16 of the 24 students are achieving a level 3, should say 3 there, level 3 and above, and that's if we work that out, that's 68%. So it's pretty much consistent from year to year. So there is some variance, but at the same time, it is pretty close. So I'm pretty proud of that, that it is working for the most part. So again, any questions, please direct them digitally, direct message me on Twitter. And again, we can have conversations past this point. It's not just it. If we want to collaborate, if we want to continue to communicate, we can still do that. Also, as far as going forward, struggling students have been identified because I am able to spend more time with them. I am circulating throughout the room, and I'm able to work with who I see is not doing well. So I can identify, I can put interventions into place to help them through it. And a lot of times it's just spending a little extra time with them. There are students that are high achievers that don't need me. So I check on them occasionally, but a lot of my time is spent with the level 1 and 2 students to move them up. And if we go here, we'll notice that it's actually working. And see, this is bothering me right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to fix this. Okay, there you go. Okay, so again, by the numbers, is absolutely working because we're able to move those level 1 and 2 students to a level 3 and to a level 4 by spending some extra time. So essentially, I'm the special ed teacher. I'm able to spend the time, and that's all we really need. Students need time to work and time for me to just go through with them if there's any issues. They're asking questions. It works. It has worked. It's a process. It's not going to work right away, but it's a process. And for the most part, students are learning independent and time management skills that they're going to need going forward into high school, independence especially if they're coming to Mary Ward. Okay, so I'm hoping that their success is going to continue throughout into their high school career, especially if they're going to a school like Mary Ward. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Please keep in touch. I will be fielding questions right now. So type in a question, and hopefully I will be able to answer it to you. If not, we can have a dialogue going forward, and we can connect and continue to work. So thank you. That's all for now, and let's talk soon.